Hey, Cara.
Hey, Sarah.
So one of the reasons why we're friends is we both love Thrive Market. So I've been a member for a while now. I still love it. So imagine getting organic groceries, your pantry staples, even personal care, all at discounted members-only prices.
I know, it's wild. You sign up, use our special link, and your first order gets you 30% off, plus you pick out up to $60 in free items, automatically added at checkout on a pantry order of at least $25.
That's a really great deal. And once you're there, you're going to see the range of products they have is amazing. Over 5,000 from gluten-free and vegan to non-GMO and paleo options. They even have their own Thrive Market brand that saves you a ton. And I can personally recommend the Thrive Market Blonde Roast Coffee. I had that this morning. I have it almost every morning. And so there's so many great things to check out.
That sounds yummy. I save on every household order. Massive value with fast, carbon-neutral shipping. And if you don't recoup your membership fee in the first year, they give you the difference in Thrive Cash. Can you believe that?
I cannot. Thrive Cash is another bonus. So click our link, get 30% off and up to $60 in free products, and discover healthy shopping without compromise.
Seriously, try it. You're going to love it as much as we do.
Hey, Sarah.
Hey, Cara.
How are you?
I am doing very well. I'm excited for Thanksgiving week.
I know, me too.
I had a funny oldish moment recently that I haven't been able to share with you yet. So, as we've mentioned, we both lead a group of young adult women, kind of Bible study type thing through our church. And so we had a great time the last time I was with my girls. And when we were finished, and we talked for about an hour and a half, and we meet at my house kind of around our dining room table. There's a bunch of us. And so we, cram in there. And we actually just kind of talked about this. Indian style is like my preferred way of sitting.
But we can't say that. I think everyone our age understands what you're saying, because that's what was said to us when we were little.
Oh, versus like crisscross applesauce. See, and I had never heard that. So anyway, you know what I mean.
My kids, like their age, your kids were, well, I don't know. Remy was probably still little.
Yeah.
I was going to say maybe they were too big when you came into their lives for them to still be saying that, or for you to hear teachers saying that, or whatever.
I mean, I have definitely heard it. I don't remember when, but
anyway,
so that's how I sit,
yes.
Even in like the big tall chair around the dining room table. So anyway, way too much information to the point of my story. As we were breaking up and people were starting to leave, I hopped out of my chair to go say goodbye to the first girl who was leaving. And as I got out of my chair and was walking towards her, she's like, "Oh, are you limping?" And I was like, no, I was like, this is just, I'm oldish, and I sat in that chair for the same position for, an hour and a half. I was like, this is what you have to look forward to as you get older. Like, there's nothing wrong with me. I'm just,
so
yes,
funny.
I am limping, but not because anything's wrong. I just sat in one position for a long time. And then it took me, 5-10 steps to loosen up and not walk
that
with
is
limp.
funny.
So I was like, oh, yes, this is just an oldish moment. She was so concerned. Are you okay?
Okay, well, I have a moment to share with you that actually happened to me this morning.
Oh.
That is, I don't know if it's oldish or just a complete embarrassment, but I was putting on my lipstick, and also to the tune of too much information, I wear this like lip stain, but it's really dry. So then I put like a lip shimmer on top of it. But when I put the lip stain on, I always like dab it with, the toilet paper or Kleenex or whatever. And so I had reached over to get like a little square of toilet paper, which also, by the way, was under, and I had to flip it over, and it was a whole thing. But I had my lip shimmer in my hand, and it went right in the toilet.
Oh, no.
So not only did I have to get it out, but I had to throw it away. Because I was like, there's no way I'm even risking that in the lid or anything.
No, that's done.
So I immediately had to jump online and order more. Because I was like, what in the world?
Yeah, that's
so terrible.
Yeah, it's a rough start.
It's fine. You know what, though? I'm thankful I can order more. So let's just turn that right to Thanksgiving.
Yeah, and maybe we'll talk about that next week, because next week we have a fun episode about our favorite things.
Oh, that's right.
And so we're going to talk about some actual actual, like,
Yeah,
you
because
know,
this lip
recipe.
shimmer is absolutely my favorite.
Okay. Oh, I'm
I
excited
love
to
it.
hear about it
I
next
love it.
week.
I use it all the time.
All right. Look at us doing a little
great.
unplanned teaser. But yes, Thanksgiving week. So we want to get right to it because we know this week there's a lot. And so we want to just take, you know, kind of a little shorter time this week to remind everybody about what we've been talking about this month. We've got some fun kind of practical things with some great recipes and a really fun surprise because Miss Cara actually created a recipe just for us for
that's
this
right.
podcast.
Just for the podcast listeners.
And so that's really exciting. So we'll just jump right in. Obviously, we've been talking about gratitude and joy. What the kind of one of the verses we talked about early on in the month, but I think is a great reminder for today and this week is Psalm 104 that says, "We enter his gates with thanksgiving and his courts with praise. Give thanks to him, bless his name." And so I think whatever is going on this week, if you're traveling and away from home, if you're home but you're going to be at someone's house, or if you're hosting or whatever, maybe it's a low-key week, but still inviting him in and bringing gratitude into that space will just bring his presence in. So it's a great reminder as we go into the week.
Yeah, no, that's true. I was actually this morning looking back through my gratitude journal and just noting some like very sweet moments that God's given me, like things that I've been thankful for this month, but also just some fun things. And it kind of made me laugh to see like how I wrote down some silly little things that are very just temporal and, you know, not eternal by any means, but I think it really does bring us into his presence. And we've had a lot of heavy things going on in our lives. And so this morning I was just like, Jesus, just let me like really focus on you and be thankful. And I was reading back through Philippians 4, you know, where it talks about like bringing everything to him, but with thanksgiving.
Yes.
And so it is just a way for us to come into his presence and be able to celebrate him.
Yes.
Yeah.
Totally agree. I love that. So we think about Thanksgiving this week. What do you guys have going on?
So we are actually headed out to our ranch. We started this tradition last year. It hasn't been very many years of the tradition, but
now it's a tradition. It's happening again.
Yeah, we think we all really enjoy it because when we're at our ranch, there's nothing around. There's nowhere to go. There's really nothing to do. I mean, we do have like Wi-Fi and TVs, but you know, it's just a nice place to hang out with family for an extended period of time. So we're heading to our ranch and ordered I think it's called a Greenberg turkey. Do you get that?
Yes.
That's awesome. That's funny. Yeah, we started ordering. Yeah, that's my reference. We started ordering that turkey a few years ago. I used to make one,
me too.
I love to make a turkey. It's really not hard, but I don't know. We started ordering it, and our postcard came last week, and I jumped right on and ordered that turkey. And so I'm excited about the turkey, and we will have that, and just everybody will bring stuff to make sides, and you know we'll have probably tacos one day and chili one day and all the other days around it. We'll just have an abundance of food, but it's really nice. Last year when Thanksgiving came, I had hand surgery. So I had a whole arm in a cast that I couldn't use for anything. I couldn't get it wet. I couldn't do anything with it. So as much as I went into last year thinking what a bummer it was going to be, it actually was very fun and it was a good week and everyone jumped in. But I'm kind of excited about having two hands this year.
That'll make a big difference.
That will make my gratitude journal also.
Thank you for 2 hands for Thanksgiving. That's going to be great. So we're hosting. We usually host, which I love. I would much rather host than not. So same thing on the turkey. That's so funny. I made one for years, and I think my mother-in-law was the first one who she'd ordered one of these one year and brought it, and it was just everyone's favorite thing. And even the people who don't always eat a lot of turkey just ate a bunch of this turkey.
It was really crazy. So shameless plug for them.
I know, and it's because it's smoked. Right?
Yeah, it's smoked, and they're not dry at all.
No, they are not. They are very moist and tender, and so
they're great.
So ever since she found them and did that's just we carry it on every year. So it does. I will say this: it does make the lead up and the preparation for that week for me more enjoyable, because it is a big thing to do the turkey. And so the kids, either my mother-in-law, brother-in-law, his son, we host everybody at our house, and it's just a ton of fun. We always end up playing games, and it's just, I love it. The holidays with our family is just It's my favorite.
Good.
We just have so much fun.
Yeah.
So
That's awesome.
So I'm looking forward to that. It'll be good.
Yeah.
Here we are. So one thing I did want to mention, because when we start talking about all those things of like whether you're cooking or whether
Right.
you're, ordering, there just does tend to be more stress
Right.
because it's a different routine, it's a different thing. And so just a reminder back to, I think it was maybe the first week of the month, where we were talking about just some of the psychological effects and some of the great research that has been done on gratitude, to know that gratitude is your friend this week.
Right.
And so it can lower your stress. Like, there are physiological effects to pausing and expressing gratitude.
Yeah.
And so lowering stress, the releasing of the good hormones and the lowering of the bad hormones. And so, ushering in the presence of God, but then physically can actually even change like how we're feeling in the moment. And so just finding, I think, little ways to work in some of that time this week, whether it's in the morning before the day kind of takes off, or if it's in the middle of the day, that, you know what, I'm going to step outside or step into the bathroom for 2 minutes, and I'm going to express gratitude, and I'm just going to pause and breathe. That is like fully acceptable. Like, if the week gets overwhelming, that you would remember, look, I can stop and express gratitude and kind of change my mindset, change my brain chemistry, and just change the atmosphere.
Yeah. No, I think that's such a good reminder. And I've even, in the last few weeks, found for me that sometimes I can't think of something necessarily right in that moment just to be thankful for, like a thing, but I'm always thankful for Jesus.
Yeah.
And so for myself this month, I've really just had moments where I just stop and say, Jesus, you are, and just name who he is. And even that brings on this sense of gratitude of who he is in my life. And so it really kind of just like calms me and recenters my focus.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that.
And then we wanted to also talk about keeping gratitude lists.
Yeah.
They don't have to be long.
Nope.
Just super short. And, we did make that gratitude journal for our listeners. So hopefully people have grabbed that. It's not too late.
Yeah, it
to
continues
get that.
this week.
Yeah, it definitely continues this week. But also, if you're just now hearing about this and you haven't gotten it, I feel like December's also a busy month. There's nothing that says we can't be thankful in December.
Nope.
So
It's never a bad month for gratitude.
Yeah. Every month is a good month for gratitude. So keeping gratitude lists, keeping them short and simple, just 3 quick things, and it really will refocus you.
Absolutely.
And help your day go better.
Absolutely. And then I think, we don't have, I don't know if you guys have any traditions around, some families or, friends will do different things around the Thanksgiving table of, the things they're thankful for. And we don't have anything super formalized that we do. I think last year, Paul started, I don't know if it was Thanksgiving or Christmas. He kind of just, I think it was Thanksgiving, jotted like a quick note that he then like kind of, he did it kind of, behind the scenes. It wasn't like a formal thing around the table, but just what he was grateful for each person in his family. And so I've kind of been thinking about maybe doing something like that this week, of just, naming something that I'm grateful for each person. Obviously, I think probably most families pray before the Thanksgiving meal.
Right.
And so just remembering that can be a time to pause. And depending on your role and what's happening this week, it can be kind of overwhelming, and you can feel like there's a lot of expectations.
Yeah.
And so I think remembering what the point of this week is. It's not about a perfect meal or a perfect table setting. It's just that you're with your people and just taking some time to pause and to slow down and to reflect. And so I think that time to pray before the meal can be a great time to just center and just be reminded, okay, God, this is really all about you. And so none of this other stuff matters.
Yeah.
So just thank you that we're together.
Yeah. I think too, if you're hosting, like, we were talking about how much it can add a lot of stress to you if you're hosting. I think one thing for me is that I try to stay off of social media because I've reached a place in my life where I used to definitely get incredibly stressed about everything looking perfect and being perfect. And I would stay up all night long the night before an event and just be sure that all the things were in their place. And I've gotten beyond that, I think, mostly. I'm getting better at it anyway, but it's really bad for me to look at social media during events like that where I know like the mass world at large is celebrating, Easter, Thanksgiving, Christmas, those types of things, because I can get in my own head about like, well, mine wasn't that great.
Yeah.
Or, oh, that's a really good way to set your table and I should have done it that way. Or, just silly little things that really don't matter at all. And just more focusing on the fact that we are all together and, being thankful for that and for the people.
I actually think that's a great practical tip of just skip the social media this week.
Media.
Because it may be that we have a little extra downtime this week. And so let's choose something else, whether it's the gratitude journal or notes or just whatever.
Yeah.
But skipping the social media just to avoid that comparison trap. I think that's a great tip.
Maybe as we indulge in a lot of food, we fast social media.
I like it.
Yeah.
That's a trade-off. So I can have another cookie if I don't get on.
Exactly. Hey, there's a good thing.
I am.
I'm all in.
Sign me up.
All in.
Okay, well, speaking of food...
Here we go.
Which I feel like sometimes is the subtitle to this
That's
podcast.
why we're friends on our food podcast.
Speaking of food, just some practical stuff this week. So I know it's Tuesday, so we're in the week, but doesn't mean we're still figuring out what we're making or maybe sides that we're making. And so like I referenced before that you have an incredible food blog, and we're going to continue to talk more about that as we get into other stuff next year. But if people don't know, and I tell people about it all the time because it's just a great resource for food that just tastes amazing, and it has a wide range of things. So I mean, you have a ton of recipes.
I do.
I mean, so many. And there's main dishes and sides. I love like the condiment section with the dressings and then of course desserts. But we wanted to highlight a side that you already have on there that would be great for this week. And then we're going to talk about some cookies.
Yay!
A recipe that you made just
Okay, so we're going to talk about something really nourishing and healthy.
Yes.
And then we're going to talk about cookies.
Yes.
So we're going to have our, as my sister-in-law used to say to the kids when they were little, you're growing food first.
Yes.
And then you get dessert.
I like it.
Okay, yeah.
But I will say, though, I haven't had these yet, but I know they taste good just because I've never made anything on your website.
Well, this recipe, so it's roasted sweet potatoes with spiced pumpkin seeds. It's got a very deep flavor profile because there's a lot of layers to it, but don't think it's hard when I say that. There's definitely layers you have to add to it. So you roast, the sweet potatoes, and then it's got the pumpkin seeds you need to make beforehand, and some sauce, big stuff on top. So it's really delicious. But we'll link that. Definitely, it's a great side to go with. Especially if you're not a person that likes sweet potatoes with the marshmallows on top, and some people do, and
that's fine.
That's fine for them.
That's great.
To me, a sweet potato is already very sweet.
Yes.
And I just don't like the stuff on top of it.
Yeah.
So these I love because they're very savory. They're really good with a little crunch.
And savory is actually my favorite way to have sweet potatoes. And I just to reference another thing, just any of the spiced, whether it's the pumpkin seeds or you've got a great recipe for cashews or I don't know if it's the pecans.
I have several
kind of like the cayenne.
Yes.
So those are all.
I love those spiced nuts because they're great to eat by themselves. They're great to put on salads. And they're also, I think every one of them would be really good to put in a trail mix. Add, chocolate chips and raisins. The spiced ones with it's like a taco seasoning kind of mix. Those might be a little much with a trail mix. But I feel like you could put it with like a Chex Mix too. Mix it in with something like my daughter-in-law was just telling me that she's making Texas trash. Have you ever heard of this?
Yes.
Okay, I've never heard of Texas trash, which I was shocked because I live in Texas and I have my whole life. But I guess it's like a Chex Mix. You put seasonings on it and bake it. And I think you could throw those pecans in there with that for sure.
Yes, I think they'd be great. So I'm excited about the spiced pumpkin seeds along with all of it. So so that sounds amazing. I'm definitely going to be making that this week. I already have the pumpkin seeds. I just need to get potato and a couple other things. So now let's move on.
Okay.
We talked about the
cookies.
healthy. Let's talk about the cookies. So and this is what just again for people who don't know, just the way that you're wired and the way that you have even just learned more about food and nutrition and health and all the things these last several years. But we were talking, I don't know, a few weeks back and about this week and this episode and Thanksgiving, and you're like, oh, well, I'll just like make a recipe for something for cookies. And I was just like, well, okay. Like, it was just me saying like, I'm going to go brush my teeth. And you're like, well, I'll just make up a recipe. And I was like, okay. And then here we are. And we have this amazing
We have a recipe. Yeah, so it's pumpkin. I don't have the name right in front of me, so hopefully I get it right. Pumpkin oatmeal chocolate chip cookies. Yes, and they're really good. I will say, like, when I say I'm going to make a recipe, sometimes it's like one try and it's great and I get it, and sometimes it's 20. And so this one was a little more than one.
I had the first batch, I was thumbs up on batch number 1.
So the flavor didn't change from batch number 1, but
just the consistency.
The first batch of cookies I felt like were too cakey. So changed a little bit. You need to like change your ratios of your baking soda, and I took out baking powder. Anyway, you change the things. It's like science.
Okay.
And I'm not a great baker. I know it sounds crazy. I'm not.
It doesn't sound crazy. It just sounds like a lie.
I've learned how to bake. First, when I first started doing what I'm doing, I was doing all paleo. So I was baking everything with actual non-flours, like I was using almond flour, which isn't a real flour, coconut flour. So those things take a lot of learning because they don't work the same as like a regular flour. Right. Now with the invention of gluten-free 1-to-1, it's pretty straightforward on the flour situation, but that's just trial and error for me. But anyway, usually a savory recipe, I can almost hit it right on the nail the first time. But sometimes not. Anyway, it's fun though. I enjoy making up recipes. And sometimes I'll be in the middle of cooking something and I'll be like, oh, this should be a recipe. So I have to go back and think, what did I put in it? And I have so many like scrabble papers in my kitchen.
I, for one, am grateful for all the scrabble and all of the dreaming and ideas and just amazing things.
So that gluten-free pumpkin oatmeal chocolate chip cookie, that's a lot of words. But it's worth it.
It's worth it.
It's on our website under the freebies tab, and it's just for our listeners. It's just for people who want to go grab it. So
yes.
So and I guess our social media followers too. Tell them
we'll share it with them.
Yeah.
So what we'd love is if you make those cookies this week or just anytime, snap a picture and tag us so we can see Cara's cookies.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Awesome.
I wasn't always so great in the kitchen, I'll say.
That's shocking to me.
Yeah, no, it's very true. My mom is and was an amazing cook when I was growing up. And so I think in my head, I thought, why learn? She did it. She made the food and there was no reason. So I was a box mix kind of girl when Jeff and I got married, and many of our dinners were macaroni and cheese and like weenies and hot, like in the barbecue sauce. That was what we ate all the time. Or I would make spaghetti. And I remember the first time I made him spaghetti and I was like so happy with myself because it took 15 minutes. I was like, this is great. I love this. And we sat down to eat and he was like, this is really good, but next time can we put meat in it? And I was like, you want meat? What? I'm like, I just made you noodles and sauce. What more do you need? And when we were dating, I wanted to make him my grandmother's famous chocolate pie. But it is very particular, this pie, about how much flour you put in it. Okay. And when my grandmother she would literally verbally give people the recipe. She didn't have it written down. Okay. And when I called her and I said, I need the recipe, she said, be sure that you use, it's 3 or 4 maybe tablespoons of flour, but she said heaping. And she said, I can't emphasize enough heaping. So I was like, okay, that's fine. So, I did like tablespoons with a little like round top. Yeah. And I made this pie for him, and I made it at his apartment that he was living at because we were going to have dinner and we were going to go back and eat this. Well, this pie just like never set. It was soup. And he was being so kind. He was like, it's okay. We'll put it in the freezer. Sarah, we put it in the freezer. It didn't even get hard. It would not get hard at all. And so a while later, my mom showed me how to make it. And
showed you the heaping.
1 heaping tablespoon actually means like 3 tablespoons. It's crazy how much flour was heaping on the tablespoon to make the pie actually set. But I had many, many, many fails.
Okay.
And I still do. I mean, when I'm testing recipes, sometimes my family will like literally put a bite in their mouth and spit it. Jeff has literally run from the table to the kitchen sink and spit food into the sink.
Wow.
And I'll be like, oh, that bad, huh?
Okay. Well,
So, it happens.
again, we're grateful for the process.
Do you have any fails in your kitchen?
I do. So something that came to mind. This was within the first year or two after Paul and I got married, and I said this before. I was single until I was 35, and I definitely was not much of a cook because I'm not going to cook a big meal for me, and so I a lot of times, for dinner had a tortilla with hot sauce. I just wasn't much of a cook. I enjoyed baking, and so I baked a lot, and then go give people at work cookies and stuff. And so it was an adjustment of transitioning to getting married and with the kids, obviously, we're a blended family, so we had the kids part of the time. And so I did have where I would keep track of what would everybody eat, and then when it was just him and I would try different recipes. And so this one particular time I was trying it was like a shrimp pasta type dish, and whatever it was, I don't know how I ruined it. It had something to do with when the time came to thicken the sauce, and it just completely fell apart. I mean, and it was not going to be edible. And
So the flavor was bad. It wasn't just that the sauce was runny.
It was However, I know now, when you're thickening it, you have to kind of do that, mix the whatever you're doing separate. Mm-hmm. And I think I didn't do that. So then there was
put
just
it in the
stuff in it.
Yeah.
And so I cried just because, for whatever reason, I mean, I guess we were low on groceries because it was this was it. And I don't remember what we ended up doing for dinner. And he, of course, was so incredibly nice. But yeah, that was probably my biggest disaster. And then I do remember the girls, this was after we first got married, or maybe even before we were married. The girls loved macaroni and cheese, as all kids do. And I thought, well, I'll make them a macaroni and cheese.
Like a homemade one?
Yes. And I did, and it was good, but it was fancy. It had breadcrumbs and stuff on top. And they were, I'll never forget, they were raised so well. And they were so nice and so polite. Got some and ate it. And Paul told me later of they just need Kraft mac and cheese. They don't want, but again, they were so sweet. But I just knew, I was okay, I took a wrong turn somewhere. So
that's
nothing too crazy. So what about for Thanksgiving? Is there anything that is something special that your family likes that they just someone's going to be upset if this dish isn't on the table?
So my kids, even as adults still, and my nephews, my sister-in-law's kids, and they're adults, they all, if their grandmother's mashed potatoes are not on the table, and then they also, on the dessert buffet, always want the other grandmother's either chocolate pie or cheesecake. So yeah, there's those things. For me, I think because I had to change my eating, 10, 12 years ago, for me, I love food, don't get me wrong, but food isn't I think I used to live for the food at the event, and now I just love the event, and whatever's there is there.
Yeah.
Now I will say I do, again, my grandmother had a dressing recipe. Do y'all eat dressing or stuffing?
Dressing.
Yeah. We have a dressing recipe in our family that is very, very good. And my mom has started making that for me gluten-free. And because I can't have eggs, I will get duck eggs and she'll make it with a duck egg. And so that's always a really good thing with my turkey. But I mean, I don't think I'd be incredibly heartbroken if it wasn't there, but I do love it.
Yeah.
So yeah. What about you?
We do dressing. My Grammy, I have her dressing / stuffing
the
recipe. Yeah, a lot of sage.
That's it. Sage. It's a half a bottle of sage.
Yeah, it is so much
and that
sage.
is what makes it.
Yes, so much sage.
That's so funny.
Yep.
You do cornbread?
I do both. So you can do white bread and cornbread.
Okay.
So her recipe is a mix.
So yours is a mix for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. We're just cornbread.
Celery.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so I didn't start eating that till maybe in my 40s. I don't know why. I just didn't think it was something I would like.
Mm-hmm.
But I do make that, and I really enjoy it. For us, so Paul makes macaroni and cheese. Speaking of macaroni and cheese, he makes macaroni and cheese and it's the one thing, he makes a big, huge thing of it. And it is the one thing that is like gone every year. The whole family loves it. And he has a great recipe that we probably need to write down because it's in his head. I don't even know where he got it, but it's like, that's the thing.
And he remembers it once a year?
Oh yeah. And he's made it, but other time, like when the kids were at home, he would make it from time to time. But they love his mac and cheese, so he'll make that. And then I started making a few years ago. I found a recipe for Brussels sprouts. It's just basically Brussels sprouts, leeks, and bacon.
Oh,
so
that sounds amazing.
Go wrong with bacon. And so I started making that a few years back.
Do you do it in a pan or in the oven?
So I do it in my big Dutch oven, but on like stovetop.
Yeah.
And so do the leeks or do the bacon first, and then take that out, and then use the bacon fat to do the leeks and the Brussels sprouts, and then put it all in with a little bit of apple cider vinegar and salt and pepper because that just kills the bitterness of the Brussels sprouts, and they're like halved Brussels sprouts.
Okay. Funny little thing. My husband found something a couple of years ago. I mean, I will eat a Brussels sprout whole, but he found something that's like, it was like very much, if you do not cut your Brussels sprouts in half, you are purposely giving people gas.
Oh no.
Which I thought was so funny.
That is funny.
This article I don't know what he saw that on, because he was like, you have to cut those Brussels sprouts in half because it said, like, if you leave them whole, I don't understand.
Your body just can't break it down.
I do not know. It might just be completely fake. Fake news. I don't know.
Well, I have them. So
but
we're
listen,
good.
I love Brussels. I love Brussels.
Well, and so all of our kids don't necessarily eat them, but some of the kids that we have inherited. So Riley's boyfriend Max, he loves them. And so I don't know that Riley eats them, but Max loves them, which makes me so happy because I didn't sniff a Brussels sprout till I married Paul.
Oh,
so he loves vegetables, all vegetables, and I just didn't. That's not how I grew up, and that's not how I parented myself when I came of age. So we love Brussels sprouts, and so we'll have those too. So
okay, well, we will definitely post those recipes in the show notes for everybody, and I'm sure that we'll post on social media our cookie recipe probably. Yes. So we'll get that out, and that'll be fun. I'm super excited about this week and just spending time with the family and coming back together to start December here, because it's going to be super fun in December. We have our favorite things show next week. And we are going to, should we give the spoiler away of our guest in December?
Oh, I don't know. I think we tease it a little bit longer.
Okay, great. Yeah, we'll do that.
We're very, very excited.
We are very excited.
Do we want to at least just say it's two? We're going to have two special guests?
Two people on one podcast.
Yes, so there's going to be four of us.
Four, which is
that may have just given it away, but we'll see.
No, I don't know that people would know.
Okay.
All right. It's going to be fun. It's going to be an amazing episode. So looking forward to. Have you started Christmas shopping?
A little bit.
Yeah.
Yes.
Same. I think we talked about this on another episode, but I am way behind. I feel like I'm usually, by Thanksgiving, I'm pretty much done with Christmas, and I am not done with Christmas.
The kids are drawing names. We're doing it a little different this year, and so there's not as much that I'm going to be getting. We're going to kind of help them do some stuff for each other.
Yeah.
And I'm already liking this plan.
Okay.
So
you'll have to tell me about that.
Okay.
Wonder if it's too late to get my kids on board with that.
Just tell them this week. Just let them know this week this is what we're doing.
Okay. I'll be sure and
be the matriarch. Be the mom.
I'll be sure and do that.
So we're obviously this week we're gonna, I think, enjoy the life that God gave us with our families and just some downtime. And so we hope and pray that it's just a week full of gratitude and joy for all our listeners.
Encourage everybody to enjoy the life God gave you. Take a moment to thank God for that and to just enjoy the people around you. Okay. Till next week.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks so much for spending time with us today on That's Why We're Friends.
We hope you laughed, felt encouraged, and are walking away with a little more hope for your day.
If you love this episode, make sure to follow the podcast so you never miss what's next.
and share it with a friend who needs a little encouragement, because that's why we're friends.
Some products or services we mention may be paid promotions. Any advice shared should be confirmed with a qualified professional. Our conversations and opinions are meant for encouragement and entertainment only.